Now, although the days of asking, can I pay by card, are long behind us, these days we're more likely to ask, can you pay by cash? According to the Financial Conduct Authority, around 3 million of us still rely on using cash when making purchases. In a more digital world, the FCA says that communities must have access to cash, though, through cash machines, bank branches or post offices. But between 2012 and 2022, during that decade, the number of bank branches and building societies fell by 40%. So, from September this year, the FCA says that banks and building societies must keep their facilities open, including branches and cash machines, until additional services have been made available. The FCA says banks and building societies must assess the need for cash services within an area.
We are joined now here on the programme by Sheldon Mills, Executive Director of Consumers and Competition at the Financial Conduct Authority. Morning to you. Can you just explain to us, we know that fewer people are using cash, but still there is a significant number of people who rely on it.
Good morning, Sally and John. Yes, we find that 3 million people rely on cash, either exclusively or quite strongly. And the types of people who are relying on cash are those in low-income households, those who might have vulnerability, and those who need to manage their money well, which has been a particular thing as we've had high inflation and we've just been through the pandemic.
So when banks and building societies are now being told they've got to keep some kind of facility, some kind of offer available in the community, what are we talking about? What kinds of facilities?
So it's important to note that in the legislation that Parliament passed, which asked us to protect a reasonable access to cash, what it says is, and what we're trying to ensure is that people can, in urban areas, within 1 mile of a free access cash point, and in rural areas within 3 miles. And we're seeking to protect that through the rules that we've provided today. And what banks need to do is, where they come to a point that within that area, there's only going to be one branch left, they really need to look at the cash need, the cash access need in that area, and provide something to support communities. That could be a banking hub where banks come together and they share a hub to provide cash access. It could be mobile provision of cash. It could be a free access ATM or other types of innovations. What's important is that the banks look at the needs of the local community. Each local community will be different. The other thing which these rules provide is that local community groups, local councils or local businesses can request that there's an assessment to see what the local needs are and what types of provision might be required to help support local communities to maintain access to cash.
That's interesting. And you were saying it would be a free access cash machine they had to provide, so not necessarily one of those ones where you have to pay money to get money out.
It's really important that it's free access. I mean, it's not really fair that the poorest in society end up going to those ATMs. We've all seen them, where you get charged £1.50 to take out a £5 or £10. So it is important that it's free access to cash.
And what are the barriers for those people who are reliant on cash in terms of getting them access to digital forms of payment?
So it's really important that part of this, and part of what banks really are seeking to do for their customers, is that we support those who don't have access to the internet, or support people who are not familiar with using digital payments to get more familiar or to get access so that they can use them. The world is changing, and we've seen a really significant increase in the number of digital payments made, including contactless card payments. So it is important that we educate people and we support people to make that change while still protecting access to cash.
Trouble is, so many communities have already lost their banks, even lost their cash machines, haven't they? Is this guidance a bit late?
Well, the banks have had a voluntary system in place, which we've worked with them on, and that has supported a number of banking hubs and a number of alternative provisions into areas. So we have been active in this area in supporting banks to continue with access to cash whilst they've been closing branches over the past few years.
And what are the advantages then for people who say that they just simply want to use cash and that's it?
Well, our research shows that a big advantage is managing money. As people are seeking to ensure that they're able to monitor their spending, cash can help with that. That said, there are digital tools which, if you get used to them, can help you with that as well. But a lot of our research shows that people find it's more secure for them, they trust it more, and they're able to manage their money well.
OK, thank you very much indeed for your time. It's an interesting subject which we'll keep across. Thank you.